Dear viewers, Namaskar. Welcome to this edition of the News Bulletin. Independence Day of India celebrated by Rourkela Steel Plant amidst patriotic fervour. Nehru Vishisht Karmachari Puraskar presented to 78 employees. And Shrujani Awards presented by RSP to departments and individuals.
Har Ghar Tiranga campaign launched by SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant rekindles the patriotic fervour both in the plant and township. Second surveillance audit of ISO 9001-2015 QMS and ISO 14001-2015 EMS of Steel Township held at RSP.
SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant joins the nation in observing Partition Horrors Remembrance Day. Employees of Coke Ovens Department felicitated under Utkarsh Award scheme of SAIL RSP.
Hot Strip Mill 2 of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant touches new peaks on Independence Day. SAIL Swarna Jayanti Monument inaugurated at Rourkela Steel Plant on Independence Day.
Employees of Rourkela Steel Plant excelling in translation of SOP and SMP awarded. Magnificent fountain Vihan inaugurated inside the premises of SAIL RSP.
Revamped of EOT crane inaugurated at Steel Melting Shop 2 of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. Independence Day celebrated with patriotic fervour in the senior citizen home Shaksham of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant.
New Digital Transformation Management Initiative MTI आपके द्वारा inaugurated at SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. In-house modification of coil yard term limits enhances equipment availability and improves overall performance in hot strip mill 2 of RSP.
Now the news in detail. The 76th Independence Day of India was celebrated with nationalistic fervour by SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant RSP on 15th August. Mr. Atanu Bhomik, Director in Charge RSP, unfurled the national flag and took the salute of the CISF contingent in a function organised at Ispat Stadium, Sector 6. Dr. Shikhar Sahai, DIG CISF, was present along with him on the dais. The function was organised with official decorum in strict compliance to the government guidelines pertaining to COVID-19. Extending heartiest greetings and good wishes to everyone on the momentous occasion of the 76th Independence Day when SAIL is celebrating Swarna Jayanti and the nation is drenched with Har Ghar Tiranga tricolour festivity, Mr. Bhomik said, "The freedom that we are enjoying today was earned by the numerous freedom fighters who went through immense sufferings and made sacrifices for the independence and pride of the country. Let's rededicate ourselves to fulfill the dreams of making India a progressive and prosperous country as we are celebrating the 75-week-long Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav." Referring to the contributions made in the nation-building endeavour by RSP, an integral part of the Maharatna company SAIL, the DIC highlighted the achievements of the steel plant in the field of production, productivity, environment management, safety, human resources, communication, healthcare and other key areas and said, "Our Rourkela Steel Plant will be very soon touching the historic production mark of 100 million tons of steel that has been used in nation building in the last more than 6 decades. The DIC also emphasized on the belief of RSP in having robust relationships with every stakeholder. The DIC also touched upon the efforts made by RSP in the township in enhancing the quality of life of the employees and the residents of Steel City and its peripheral populace. In his concluding remarks, the DIC appealed, "Let's commit ourselves to be ready to redefine the boundaries of our performance each day, hour and minute in this Amrit Kal, which will take us to the 100th anniversary of Indian independence with unbridled pride and enormous accomplishments." In the award ceremony organized in this occasion, the DIC felicitated the CISF personnel for their exemplary service. He also presented the prestigious Nehru Vishisht Karmachari Awards, Shrujini Awards and awards for translation of SOPs and SMPs to Odia and Hindi to employees and departments. A team of COVID warriors was given a standing ovation on the occasion for their dedicated service to the society. The program was attended by Mrs. Seema Bhomik, President Deepika Mahila Sangati, Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi, Executive Director Works, Mr. P.K. Satpathy, Executive Director P&A, Mr. P.K. Sahu, Executive Director Projects, Mr. Somnath Tripathi, Executive Director MM, Dr. B.K. Hota, Executive Director M&HS, Mrs. Harshala Suryavanshi, Mrs. Hiranmai Satpathy, Mrs. Samapika Sahu, Dr. Professor Shushmita Das, all Vice Presidents of DMS and many other senior officers of the plant were present on the occasion. Ms. Ankita Bilung, Manager RCL, Mr. Anil Kumar Malik of Cold Rolling Mill anchored the program. National flag was also hoisted in different institutions and departments of RSP. The students of different schools also held a Prabhat Feri carrying the national flag to mark the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. At a function held at Deepika Mahila Jagriti Sansthan Sector 2, Mrs. Seema Bhomik hoisted the flag in the presence of the Vice Presidents, Secretary, members of the governing body and other volunteers of DMS. Mr. Atanu Bhomik, DIC RSP, presented the coveted Nehru Vishisht Karmachari Puraskar to 78 employees of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant for the year 2021. The felicitation function was held in the Independence Day celebrations held at Ispat Stadium on 15th August. The spouses of the award winners also accompanied them to the stage to receive the awards. Each of the winners was presented with a certificate award of Rs 10,000 that was awarded to their Sodexo card and a gift. It is worth mentioning here that the Nehru Vishisht Karmachari Puraskar is presented every year on the occasion of the Independence Day. The employees are awarded for their exemplary contributions made towards the performance and production of the plant in terms of their commitment to duty, ingenuity and continued excellence in the respective areas of work. Shrujini Awards for the year 2021-22 were presented to departments as well as individuals for excelling under the Shrujini Creativity Scheme during the Independence Day celebrations organized by Rourkela Steel Plant at Ispat Stadium on 15th August. Mr. Atanu Bhomik, DIC RSP, presented the Shrujini Rolling Trophy for the year 2021-22 to Pipe Plant. The Shrujini Rolling Trophy for the best department was conferred on the pipe plants. A team of employees led by Mr. Kartikeya Behra, Chief General Manager CRM, SSM and PP and Mr. Gurminder Singh, GM in charge pipe plants received the trophy on behalf of the department. The Shrujini Rolling Trophy for the second best department was bagged by Hot Strip Mill 1, which was received by Mr. Debabrata Datta, CGM in charge HSM and his team. The Shrujini third best trophy was bagged by the Shops Department. The team led by Mr. Ravi Ranjan, CGM Design Shops and Roll Shop received it. Mr. Manoj Kumar Pradhan, MOMT Pipe Plant emerged as the winner of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Best Suggester Award for the highest number of implemented suggestions. He was presented with a cash award of Rs 10,000 and a certificate of merit. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's second Best Suggester Award was presented to 5 employees. Each of them received a cash award of Rs 3,000 and a certificate of merit. The employees are Mr. Basanta Kumar Das, MOMT Centering Plant 2, Mr. Bhabani Shankar Pati, SOST SP2, Mr. Badal Kumar Kar, Senior Operative PPERW, Mr. Hare Krishna Samasi, Senior Technician Co-Governance, and Mr. Chitra Sen Jana, Engineering Assistant Town Engineering Electrical. The 3 best Shrujini coordinators awarded in the function in the order of merit were Mr. Jyoti Ranjan Behra, Assistant Manager SP2, Mr. Samir Ranjan Mahapatra, GM Shops, RSM, PCS and SNF, and Mr. Avinash Chaudhary, GM Pipe Plant. Cash award worth Rs 5,000, Rs 4,000 and Rs 3,000 respectively was given to them along with a certificate of merit. It is to be noted that Shrujini, the Creativity Award scheme of RSP, was introduced in the year 1989-90. Shrujini showcases the innovation and enterprising qualities of the employees of Rourkela Steel Plant, helping in its performance and production.
The multifarious Har Ghar Tiranga campaign launched by SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant RSP has rekindled the patriotic fervour amongst people both inside the steel plant and in the township. About 12,500 flags along with poles have been distributed by RSP in the Odisha group of mines, different schools in periphery villages, CSR run schools in Steel Township, schools run by RSP, other schools in the Steel Township, NGOs, socio-cultural organizations and CISF. The tri-color illumination of important buildings of RSP as well as the roundabouts in the ring road of the township has generated a magical festive mood amongst the general public. Song and dance performances as well as Prabhat Pheri organized by the students of different schools carrying the tri-color flags have infused colors as well as patriotic fervour in the life of the steel city. The mobile tableau carrying a digital screen that was flagged off on 10th August by RSP is continuing to reach out to the schools as well as people living in Rourkela and the periphery villages with the message of Har Ghar Tiranga. A large number of motivated employees have hoisted flags at their homes to mark the occasion. The mood is no different inside the steel plant. The administrative building and other important gates and buildings of the plant have been decorated with tri-color lighting. On 13th August, national flag was hoisted in different plant units by the senior officers with hundreds of employees participating in the ceremony with zeal and zest. The second surveillance audit of ISO 9001-2015 QMS and ISO 14001-2015 EMS of Rourkela Steel Township was held from 8th to 9th August 2022. Mr. P.K. Satpathy, ED PNA, presided over the inaugural session held at Personnel Conference Hall and assured the auditors of necessary support and cooperation and urged all to work towards the improvement of systems and the procedures of the plant. Mr. A.K. Nayak, CGM TA and CSR, Ms. Rajashri Banerjee, CGM HRD, Auditor, HODs and senior officials of concerned departments were present in the meeting. The scope of the audit included township services like provision of electricity, water, civil engineering, maintenance, public health, horticulture, sports, services in Rourkela House and Hillview Guest House, social welfare and CSR activities. The auditors reviewed the compliance to previous audit findings, observation, risk assessment and opportunities, planning, objectives, targets, resource management, documentation, updation, control mechanism, internal audit and management review meeting outcomes. The audit was conducted by Mr. Imon Mukherjee, lead auditor, and Mr. Deepak Kherwal, auditor of Messrs. TUV, conducted the audit. At the closing meeting chaired by Mr. A.K. Nayak, the auditors thanked the collective for extending their cooperation and discussed at length the finding of the audit for further improvement. The meeting was coordinated by Ms. Chaitali Das, GM in charge BE and IED and the Business Excellence team.
SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant joined the rest of the nation in observing the Partition Horrors Remembrance Day on 14th August to remember the terrifying impact of the life-altering partition on the millions of people. The event was organized as a part of the ongoing Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. An exhibition was organized at the Interpretation Center of Indira Gandhi Park of RSP to mark the occasion, which was inaugurated by Mr. Atanu Bhaumik, Director in charge. Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi, ED Works, Mr. P.K. Satpathy, ED PNA, Mr. P.K. Sahu, ED Projects, Mr. Somnath Tripathi, ED MM, Dr. B.K. Hota, ED MNHS, Dr. P.K. Rath, CGM in charge Mines, Mr. A.K. Behuria, CGM in charge FNA, and many senior officers of the plant were present on the occasion. The exhibition, held in a blended mode, showcased the facts, figures, information and photographs pertaining to the partition of the country. The event was witnessed by thousands of visitors to the park. A film made on the subject was also displayed in the digital screen of the mobile tableau of RSP that touched various corners of the city. A 6-member team of employees of Coke Oven Department of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant were felicitated under the Utkarsh Award scheme at a function held in the department on 3rd August. Mr. Tularam Behra, CGM Coke Oven, presided over the function and handed over the certificate of appreciation and a gift card worth ₹800 each. Present on the occasion were sectional representatives and other senior officers and employees of the department. The team comprising Mr. P.K. Malik, Mr. Lal Mohan Murmu, Mr. Pavitra Kumar Sahu, all master operatives, Mr. Ravindra Kumar Barik, Mr. Gokul Behra, and Mr. Philips Khalko. All senior operators were awarded for the successful implementation of the project replacement of 8 numbers, 70 RSNCS, 25 RSNCS, 45 RSNCS and 10 RSNCS of CGM bleeder assembly along with the disc Coke Oven Battery 1 with utmost safety. The program was coordinated by Ms. Jyote Oria, Senior Manager Personnel.
The employees of Hot Strip Mill 2 of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant RSP celebrated the 76th Independence Day by creating new production records. The mill rolled 7,073 tons of slabs and produced 320 coils weighing 6,896 tons of hot rolled coils on 15th August 2022, which is its best performance since inception. The previous best single day rolling of 6,818 tons of slab and 6,689 tons of coil was achieved on 19 June 2022. Besides, the HSM2 also clocked the single record shift HR coil production in B shift of 15th August 2022 by rolling 2,735 tons of slab and making 2,670 tons of HR coil in the said shift. The previous best record of rolling 2,600 tons of slab and 2,524 tons of HR coil for any single shift was achieved on 8th August 2022. Congratulating the HSM2 collective and all the associated units, Mr. Atanu Bhaumik DIC, RSP has said, "May this be the beginning of a glorious journey of the mill in the Amrit Kal." Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi ED Works visited HSM2 on 16th August to congratulate the collective for the remarkable performance and presented sweets to the employees. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Suryavanshi said the splendid performance signifies the spirit, determination and professionalism of the collective. It indicates that if you desire, plan and execute, then the goal is certainly attainable. The HSM2 and associated department collective assured the top management of their commitment to give the best for taking the plant to greater heights. It is worth mentioning here that the Hot Strip Mill 2 with 3 million ton per annum MTPA capacity is a state-of-the-art mill with few parallels in India and will be producing world-class hot rolled HR coils, and the mill was commissioned on 31st March 2022. With high level of automation, this mill would produce coils of carbon structural steel, high strength low alloy HSLS steel, high carbon steel, LPG cylinder steel, low alloy steel, API up to 100 times, pipe steel and auto grade steel. Equipped with the latest and sophisticated technology, the mill will meet the stringent requirements of the customers in terms of quality, finish, dimensions and other parameters. A SAIL Swarna Jayanti monument was inaugurated by Mr. Atanu Bhaumik DIC, Rourkela Steel Plant RSP at Sector 14 roundabout on the auspicious occasion of the 76th Independence Day of the country. Present on the occasion were Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi ED Works, Mr. P.K. Satpathy ED P&A, Mr. P.K. Sahu ED Projects, Mr. Somnath Tripathi ED MM, Dr. B.K. Hota ED M&HS, Mr. A.K. Nayak CGM TA and CSR and several other senior officers of the plant. The monument showcases the SAIL Swarna Jayanti logo to mark the 50 years of formation of the company. The pentagon-shaped monument held by two hands depicts the strong foundation provided by the employees of RSP to the company in the last several decades. The monument has added another piece of beauty to the necklace of Ring Road of Rourkela of the Steel Township. The monument has been designed and installed by the Town Engineering Department of RSP under the guidance of Mr. B.K. Jojo, GM in charge, TE.
The best translators of standard operating practices and standard maintenance practices in the Odia and Hindi were felicitated by Mr. Atanu Bhomik, DIC RSP, in the Independence Day celebrations held at Ispat Stadium on 15th August. In all, 18 awards were presented to the employees of Iron and Steel Zone, Rolling Mill Zone and Shops and Services Zone. In Odia translation category from Iron and Steel Zone, the first, second and third prize winners were Mr. D.C. Nayak, AGM RES, Mr. M.R. Maharana, MOMT SMS1 and Mr. J. Sahu, MOMT RMHP respectively. The consolation prizes were bagged by Mr. J. K. Sahu, Operator Coke Ovens, Mr. P. K. Sahu, MOMT RMHP and Mr. D. K. De, Operator Coke Ovens. In the Rolling Mill Zone, Mr. A. K. Sahu, OCT Plate Mill, won the first prize, while Mr. S. K. Das, OCT HSM2 was the second prize winner. In the Hindi translation category from Iron and Steel Zone, the first, second and third prize winners were Mr. D.C. Nayak, AGM RES, Mr. P. K. Sahu, MOMT RMHP and Mr. P. C. Murmu, ACT CCD respectively. Mr. B. S. Nayak, OCT RMHP, Mr. K. P. Prajapati, MTT Oxygen Plant, Mr. D. K. De, Operator CO, were the recipients of the consolation prizes. Mr. H. Mishra, Manager EMD, Mr. K. K. Jaiswal, AGM HRD, Mr. D. Garg, Manager WMD, were the first, second and third prize winners from the Shops and Services Zone. Mr. S. Sahu, Assistant Manager Fire Services, was the consolation prize recipient from the zone. A cash award of Rs 5,000, 4,000 and 3,000 were given to the first, second and third prize winners and Rs 1,000 to each of the consolation prize winners along with the certificates of merit. The judges of the competition were also felicitated on this occasion. Notably, the award has been constituted as per the advice of Director in charge to improve employee engagement and enable the employees to understand the SOP and SMP procedures in a better way. The translated SOP SMP procedures will be uploaded in Knowledge Management Portal for everyone's ready reference. Adding beauty to the ambience inside the plant premises, a beautiful fountain Vihan was inaugurated by Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi, ED Works, Rourkela Steel Plant RSP, in front of the ED Works building premises on 13th August 2022. Many chief general managers and senior officers of the plant and employees in large numbers were present on the occasion. The attractive fountain has water jets spouting up to the height of 30 feet, symbolizing the synergy of the employees who have been making relentless efforts to go beyond their potential to help the plant scale new peaks. The water jets sprayed from the water nozzles mounted on an 18 feet diameter fountain basin creates a soothing effect in the mind of the onlookers. The tricolor lighting along with the gurgling water is also working as a stress reliever in the industrial setup. A landscaped garden bedecked with ornamental plants has also been developed around the fountain on an area of approximately 1,300 square meter. All the mountings and accessories used in the garden have been arranged from unused and salvaged machine parts. It is worth mentioning here that the fountain is a wonderful creation of the industrious employees of civil engineering services, power distribution, mechanical shop, and who have made it with in-house resources. Fire Service Department has also extended help in creation of this beautiful work of art. It is worth mentioning here that RSP has been consistently making efforts to create a green and aesthetically appealing environment inside the steel plant so as to create a positive work atmosphere for the employees. A number of beautifully landscaped gardens have been developed with ornamental plants across the plant.
A revamped EOT crane was inaugurated by Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi, ED Works, Rourkela Steel Plant on 17th August 2022 at Slag Yard of Steel Melting Shop 2. Present on the occasion were Mr. M.K. Mahanti, CGM Electrical, Mr. R.N. Rajendran, CGM Mechanical, Mr. T.P. Shivshankar, CGM SMS2, and HODs and other senior officers and employees of Steel Melting Shop 2, Crane Maintenance and FMM Department. It is noteworthy that the crane with 100-ton capacity was commissioned in the year 1996 and was being used by SMS2 department for slag handling. The crane had developed a crack and outlived its life. It was decided to revamp the crane by replacing both the auxiliary girders of the crane. Each girder has a length of 34.850 meters, depth of 1.9 meters and weighs about 16 tons. The major jobs carried out in the process included fabrication and replacement of both auxiliary girders, replacement of platform of main girder, complete overhauling and alignment of auxiliary trolley components, overhauling of main hoist, spreader beam, removal of operator cabin and total electrics revamping. Fabrication of such a long girder was carried out for the first time. Both the girders were erected with the help of two mobile cranes with the support of FMM department. All the components of the auxiliary trolley were overhauled and replaced. The entire revamping activity was carried out under the leadership of Mr. S.K. Panka, GM in charge, crane maintenance with the support of FMM and SMS2 departments. The 76th Independence Day was celebrated with patriotic fervour in the senior citizens' home Shaksham of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. Yoga Guru Srimati Narayani Nayak hoisted the national flag on this occasion. Ms. Munmun Mitra GM CSR was the guest of honour. The chief guest in her speech emphasized on nurturing the Indian values of mutual respect, sympathy and empathy for building an India on strong moral values. Speaking on this occasion, Ms. Munmun Mitra said that while celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, one should remember the sufferings and sacrifices of the freedom fighters who brought us the freedom. Mr. Arjun Bhuiya paid tribute to the freedom fighters while Ms. Kavita Panda moderated the program. Mr. S. Hota proposed a vote of thanks at the end. It is worth mentioning here that RSP has been taking a number of activities under its CSR initiatives for the well-being of the residents of Shaksham situated at Sector 4. Regular health checkup camps, yoga sessions, indoor and outdoor activities are being organized to keep the inmates fit physically and mentally, apart from creating camaraderie amongst them.
A digital transformation initiative MTI आपके द्वारा was launched at HRD Center of SAIL, Rourkela Steel Plant by Mr. Tanu Bhaumik, DIC, RSP, in the presence of Mr. S.R. Suryavanshi, ED Works, Mr. P.K. Sahu, ED Projects, Mr. Somnath Tripathi, EDMM, Mr. B.K. Hota, ED Medical and Health Services, and Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, ED HRD MTI. The function was attended by the Chief General Managers and HODs of various units from across the plant. The main objective of the program is to achieve the industry best performance metrics for agility, quality,
productivity, profitability, customer experience, environment and social responsibility through data insights. Addressing the senior officers present on the occasion, Mr. Bhaumik emphasized upon the importance of digital transformation and firming up the learning and development policy in the wake of changing times and emerging technologies. He urged all to enhance their understanding of the digital ecosystem and catalyze leadership so as to leverage the development of information systems and digital innovations. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar highlighted the advantages of digital transformation and skill development and urged all to prepare Team RSP for World Economic Forum's Global Lighthouse Network membership. A brief presentation was made on the overview of the Nurturing Talent, the Next Step initiative by Mr. Biswajit Anand and Mr. Chandra Nath Kumar, faculty members from MTI Ranchi, that gave an insight regarding the roadmap for the implementation of the digital transformation procedures. It was followed by open house discussions where several questions were raised, which were clarified by the experts from MTI. At the outset, Ms. Rajshri Banerjee, CGM HRD RSP, delivered the welcome address. Ms. Binita Tirki, Manager HRDC, anchored the program. The dignitaries began the proceedings by lighting the ceremonial lamp and the rendition of national anthem. Mr. Sanjeev Kumar presented a memento to HRD team of RSP for invaluable contribution to MTI Ranchi. Later, during the day, a session was held on the theme Accelerating Digital Transformation, Plant Interventions, Road Ahead 2022-23. Different departments, namely RMPH, Blast Furnace, Coke Ovens, Sintering Plants, Steel Melting Shops, New Plate Mill, Hot Strip Mills, Electronics and Automation, and Computer and Information Technology made presentations on the digital roadmap during the session. A team of employees of Crane Maintenance and Hot Strip Mill 2, led by Mr. S.K. Panka, GM Crane Maintenance, successfully modified the coil yard tong limits in HSM2. This in-house enterprising job has improved the equipment availability and improved the overall performance of the department. Notably, the recently commissioned HSM2 has 9 numbers of tong cranes for coil handling. The tong cranes have Lloyd Somers make tong. For opening and closing control of tong, 2 miniature limit switches were provided in the regional equipment. During loading of coils, frequent malfunctioning of the limit switches were observed. This resulted recurrent damage to tong motor gearboxes. Since these are located inside a covered box, it used to take lot of time to check and revive the limit switches, leading to crane downtime. After lot of deliberation and study, it was decided to provide normal heavy-duty striker type limit switches in place of miniature type limit switches. The team comprising Mr. B. Dalai, Senior Manager, Crane Maintenance, Mr. S.K. Das, GM, Mr. P. B. Kerkata, AGM, and Tribikram Seth, Senior Manager, HSM2, Electrical, took up the job. The heavy-duty striker type limit switches were mounted in accessible location, which can be easily maintained and monitored during operation of tong without much downtime. At present, the limits are installed in all coil yard cranes and are working perfectly. That's all for the news today. Namaskar.